Chances are you're in a building right now. But have you ever stopped to think about it? What if I told you that building has a secret life, and that it's actually designed to, well, manipulate you in ways you can't even see?
I mean, have you ever felt this? You're in a massive glass building, it's a crazy hot day outside, sun is just beating down, but inside, you're perfectly comfortable. How does that even work?
Well, let me tell you, that feeling is not an accident. Not at all. It's basically a carefully crafted experience made possible by all these invisible systems of control. The building itself is actively, shaping how you feel, and most of the time, you don't even have a clue.
So, to really get how this works, we've got to kind of rethink what a building even is. It's not just a box we sit in. It's an active participant in our environment. Almost like it has an invisible hand guiding everything we feel inside it.
Yeah, so forget that old idea of a building as just a passive shelter from the rain. Today's buildings are really dynamic environmental machines. They're designed to actively manipulate light and air, all to fine-tune your comfort and, as we'll see, save a ton of energy.
And here's the really brilliant part. The genius of it all is how subtle it is. These systems are working completely beneath the thresholds of awareness. They're shaping how you feel, how you think, maybe even how you behave. And you'd never even know they were there.
Okay, so how exactly do they pull this off? Well, it all starts with light, or more specifically, the art of choreographing light.
First up, you have to look at the glass itself. Modern windows have this amazing thing called a low-E coating. The easiest way to think about it is like a pair of super high-tech sunglasses for the entire building. It's this microscopic metallic layer that is just incredible at doing one specific job. It blocks and reflects heat, but it lets all that nice visible light pour right through.
And the difference this makes, it's huge. Think about old windows. They just let everything in, right? Light, heat, the whole deal. That meant lots of glare and crazy high energy bills. But these modern windows, they're smart. They separate the two, so you get all the amazing benefits of natural light with none of the downsides.
And it's not just about keeping the temperature down. It's also about the quality of the light. The result is daylight that feels brighter, but also way more diffuse, which means less contrast and way less strain on your eyes.
But check this out. Here's another super clever trick. It's called a light shelf. It looks simple, right? It's just a piece of clever geometry. But what it does is catch that harsh, high-angle sunlight, and instead of letting it glare in your eyes, it bounces it straight up onto the ceiling. The ceiling then basically becomes this giant, soft light source, bathing the whole room deep inside with this beautiful, even light.
It gets even wilder. Buildings are now literally hacking our biology with light. These advanced LED systems can actually simulate the natural daylight cycle of the sun. So you get this cool bluish light in the morning to help you wake up and feel alert. And then it slowly shifts to a warmer, softer light in the afternoon to help you wind down. The transitions are so gradual you don't even notice them. It's like the building is a remote control for your body's natural rhythms.
So, okay, buildings can control what we see. They're masters of light. But what about the air we breathe? Now that's where things get really, really interesting.
Because when it comes to air, modern buildings aren't just moving it around, they're actually sculpting it.
So you can forget about those old systems that just blast freezing air down on you from the ceiling. Now it's all about a much smarter approach called stratified ventilation. Basically, they introduce cool, fresh air low to the ground. Then, as it gets warmed up by, people and equipment, it naturally rises and gets cycled out. It creates these invisible, comfortable layers of air.
Okay, now look at this number. Less than 0.2 meters per second. What on earth could that be?
That is the speed of the air moving in these systems. It is so carefully engineered to be just below the threshold of human detection. You literally can't feel it. That's the secret to that feeling of perfect stillness inside, even while the air is constantly, silently being renewed. And they don't just use machines to do this. The building's own structure can be a tool. I'm talking about thermal mass. Think of heavy materials like concrete as a giant rechargeable heat battery. All day, it's just soaking up heat from the sun and people, which keeps the inside cool. Then at night, it slowly releases that heat back out. The building itself is helping to regulate its own temperature. How cool is that?
All right, so we've got light and we've got air. But what's the brain that's coordinating all of this? That brings us to our final piece of the puzzle, the thinking building.
Because modern buildings really do have a brain, and it works in this constant three-step loop. Step 1, sense. All these sensors are gathering real-time data on everything: sunlight, temperature, even how many people are in a room. Step 2, analyze. Smart algorithms crunch all that data, spot patterns, and predict what the building is going to need next. And finally, step 3, act. The system automatically adjusts everything, the blinds, the lights, the airflow. It's not just a building anymore, it's more like a living, adaptive organism.
And where do you think the inspiration for all this incredible tech comes from? You guessed it, nature. This is called biomimicry. Architects are looking at termite mounds to figure out brilliant new ways to cool buildings. They're studying desert beetles to create facades that can harvest their own water from the air. They're even mimicking plant leaves to design shades that track the sun perfectly. Nature already figured this stuff out millions of years ago.
So you see, this isn't science fiction. This is happening right now. These buildings are literally regulators of our sensory experience. They are choreographing photons and air molecules all around us. They're shaping our reality in ways we're only just beginning to understand.
So, this leaves me with one last question for you. The next time you walk into a modern building and you just feel perfectly comfortable, I want you to stop for a second. And now that you know what to look for, what invisible forces will you notice at work?